Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and I am extremely excited about this one. This one is totally taking me by surprise. I did not, why would I ever think this would be a thing? If you guys have seen my other live streams, I have talked about how my guilty pleasure horror movie of all time is like Creepshow 2. Not the first Creepshow, even though that one's good too. A lot of the anthologies are like guilty pleasures. None of them are as a whole phenomenal. Like, I'm talking the majority of them. There's always like one in the bunch that's like, eh. For the most part, none of them have 3 or 4 great stories. There's always a bad one. But Creepshow 2, I think they're all cheesy 80s, maybe early 90s goodness. The raft, the wooden Indian, the whole animated scene they do in between with the kid running away from the bullies with the Venus flytrap and stuff like that. I don't know what it is. Like I said in other reactions and live streams, I am a huge fan of Channel 11 back in the 80s. USA Up All Night, stuff like that. I watched a lot of movie television, so a lot of it was edited out and cut out. Most of what I saw horror-wise was when I was like 10, 11, 12 years old on Channel 11, and all the good parts were probably cut out, but I didn't know any better, and it was entertaining. Creepshow 2 was on all the time, along with all the Friday the 13th, late night, stuff like that. Creepshow 2 was always on. I never really saw Creepshow 1, probably because it was much more violent and horrific, whereas Creepshow 2 was more comedic and I guess kid-friendly, if you want to say. So it was probably easier to put on television, as were the later Friday the 13th. You probably see back in the 80s and 90s a lot of like Part 6, Part 7, Part 8 of Friday the 13th. Why, you might ask? Because the first couple were much more violent and scary and had a lot more nudity and sex. Don't get me wrong, the latter ones had a lot of kills and violence and sex too, but they were more comedic, like the Freddy Kruegers, like the Nightmares. Nightmare on Elm Street 1, horrifying. 3 and 4, he tells one-liners all the time, and I love him for it. But it was easier, I guess, to show the latter movies. They also probably had lower budgets with more ability to put them on TV. I don't know, maybe the copyrights were cheaper to put up on TV. I don't know the logistics of it all. All I know is Creepshow 2 became one of my favorites of all time, and I have mentioned it more than once in live streams. But I'm going to be talking too much. I don't know anything about this. Really excited. This is a live action with mostly practical effects, from what I'm told, series on the Shudder streaming network called Creepshow. I heard from people it is George Romero, Greg Nicotero, and Stephen King. Obviously, George Romero is passed on, but it's ideas and themes from his books or ideas from like his stories, along with Stephen King. I don't know if Stephen King is physically involved, but his ideas and stories are too, from what I'm told. Gonna jump in, guys. I expect good things. I am sad to see when I pop this up, it's only got like 100,000 views in 2 days. I wish it got more love. All the other Comic-Con trailers have hundreds of thousands, if not millions of views. This thing is like barely pushing 200,000 2-3 days later. I hope it gets more love than this, guys. I want to see more things like this happen. Practical effects, old school throwbacks to 80s horror. Loving it. I hope it looks good. This is Creepshow on Shudder streaming service. I don't think I've ever seen anything on Shudder, but I heard of it.
Who are you?
What? Was that in the dollhouse?
Be scared, right?
Was it a mini dying zombie doll?
You gonna tell me what this is all about?
Yes, absolutely.
Is each one going to be a different comic? That thing is creepy looking. Reminds me of the Crypt Keeper.
Before
Mind of
kill again.
I see what you did there.
There are things in the corners of this world. Help me!
That's Jigsaw.
Drive you insane. A new generation of horror has arisen.
David Arquette.
The dead.
September. A month. That's awesome. The new guy. I love the old school font and everything.
You're in for it now.
Why?
It's the way it's supposed to be.
He's got a big beard. He was also in the Supernatural. Guys, that is literally Creepshow in the format of Tales from the Crypt. The guy from Creepshow up in this thing right here, he's the guy on the cover. He looks much creepier there. He's the cover of like Creepshow if you watch the other things, but he looks creepy in practical effects. However, it's basically the Crypt Keeper. Even the same style they use. It is self-contained stories with a little bit of humor involved. Even the way it looks and feels and is filmed and like the acting and the way it's all set up. Even this guy, the mascot is like a Crypt Keeper type guy. I'm not hating on that. I have every season of Tales from the Crypt on Blu-ray. I pop them in all the time, especially around Halloween. I will marathon entire seasons of Tales from the Crypt. They are like cheesy little horror sketches, but I find them all enjoyable. Some are disturbing, some really make you think, some creep you out. But for the most part, they're not like over the top gory and stuff. Almost like lessons of morality. Like, if you do this, you're going to get screwed over. But maybe if you're a good person, you won't. Not to say that some of the stories, the good people don't die. But I am really excited for this. There seems to be a lot of noticeable people connected too. Definitely saw David Arquette. Definitely saw the guy from The New Kid. He played Garth in Supernatural fighting with Dean and Sam. Very cool seeing him. I hope it is just like Tales from the Crypt. I hope other people buy into it and like it. I don't know if other people will go for a Tales from the Crypt type format. I just love the nostalgia of it. And it's following an 80s franchise, so I feel like they're going for my demographic. But I just wish it got more love. Hopefully it catches on. I'm going to post this because I want more people to see it. Hopefully it spreads around. People get the word out about this. But you got to subscribe to Shudder. I don't think it's very expensive. I was subscribed to it for a while. I think it's like, I don't know if they raised the price, but it's not a lot. It's like $7 or $8. So it isn't the end of the world, but I do feel you on the fact that there is a lot of streaming services to pay for. So you got to eliminate some. Shudder is strictly horror. So unless you're like a strong horror fan, you're not going to get Shudder. So I will be reacting to these. I'm going to resubscribe to Shudder just to watch these. Maybe I'll find some other cool things on Shudder while I'm at it. But definitely going to do this. Awesome, awesome stuff. I love that they use the old font. We got the comics up here. Really cool stuff, guys. Tell your friends about it. Let me know what you think. Comments down below. Like and subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.